What's up, Dream Warriors? Welcome back to another episode of a podcast on Elm Street. I'm Mark.
And I'm Brooke.
And we are fully complete our prehistoric month of May.
Yep.
And this is our first episode since. I had a lot of fun. I think we already talked about this in the last episode.
We did, yes.
I did have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, me too.
The movies kind of took a turn that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting like a full month of dinosaurs whenever we first started talking about it.
Yeah.
And we didn't go that route, which is good.
No.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so returning back to our schedule of no schedule, this is my pick, and I chose 2006's Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes. It was kind of a slap in the face, but
what?
No, not the right word. I didn't see it coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slap in the face. Holy cow, man. Yeah, so I picked this movie because I mentioned it, like I'm getting way ahead of myself, but this is only my second time watching this movie.
Yeah, me too.
My first time was whenever it first came out. And I remember it being like a lot more horror-ish.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I remember a lot more like creatures and like more happening with the pale man and all that shit.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of horror. That's why I guess you kind of pulled the same thing that I did with you with Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Like when I picked that, you're like, okay, sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And whenever I finished watching this, I was like, this is the Shape of Water for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's more of a drama with like a fantasy aspect to it, with like a little bit of horror maybe, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
But regardless, I think we're gonna have a good discussion with it.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially after the fucking Wikipedia article that you pulled up.
Oh my God. That's the most disturbing thing I've seen.
I can't wait. But anyways, we've already jumped way ahead. We haven't even done our fucking intros. What have you been up to this week?
So this week, quite a bit. Where did I lift off? Oh yeah. So for non-horror, watched quite a bit of non-horror movies this week. I don't know why, but watched Jackass #2.
Nice.
Because they're all on Paramount Plus now. And Netflix has like all like the 0.5s on there too.
Yeah.
I like #2. I think the best part of it is the last prank that they pull on Aaron.
Oh, is that the terrorist?
Yeah, the terrorist. Yeah. Fucking great. Watched Top Gun, not Top Gun Maverick, but the OG.
Yeah.
It's my first full watch of it. I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. It's pretty good.
Can't believe you never watched that.
Hey, I'm not the first, okay?
I know you're not.
I took Monday off because we went to the Slipknot concert on Sunday, wearing the sweatshirt.
Me too.
Nice. So I took the day off. So I bought the Godfather trilogy on Blu-ray like probably 4 months ago, and I haven't even watched any of them yet. Like I've seen the first two before. So I thought I'll throw on Godfather, and like I forgot that it's like 3 hours long. So that was basically my full day. That was masterpiece.
Yeah.
I went to the movies last night, as you know.
Yeah.
We went with one of our fans. Bob's watched the Bob's Burgers movie.
Yeah.
And it was great. I really like it. I said in a review on Letterboxd, like we need more adults cartoons like on the big screen, because like the Simpsons movie was great. It did really well. This movie was really good. I'm sure it'll do pretty good.
Yeah.
And I feel like the South Park movie when it came out, like I don't know if it went to theaters because it was like 99 or 98.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And I was too young to watch that anyway at the time. But I don't know. I feel like we need more of that shit.
We need a Rick and Morty movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then into the horror. This one kind of horror adjacent.
Okay.
I watched Vertigo
Mm.
for the first time. Alfred Hitchcock's. It was really good, actually. Have you seen it before?
No.
Okay, yeah, it's on IMDb's top 250 list as well. So
Okay.
I thought I'd buy it. It was good. There's a really good twist in it. Really enjoyed it. It's
Nice.
kind of like slow, but it was good.
Much like all of Hitchcock's movies.
Yeah, yeah. And then finally, I continued my Puppet Master watch because they have all of them on Tubi now. And oh man, we were talking about, because we found that if you subscribe to Full Moon Features,
Yeah.
they're like streaming service, you get this incredible box set of the Puppet Master movies. And like, I was kind of debating of like signing up for it, but like after watching the rest of the franchise, it's not worth it. I don't think I'll watch a number of these movies again.
So you're hitting that point of where it's not fun anymore.
Yeah. So now I'm into a new trilogy kind of storyline that they have.
Okay.
It's the Nazi trilogy.
Oh yeah.
So I watched the first one. It's called Puppet Master Axis of Evil. It's terrible. Like some of the worst acting I've seen in the franchise. They blend in Nazis and Japanese people with like guns. It's just a mess. And then I just finished, ready for recording, Puppet Master X, Axis Rising. And it was a bit better than the first one because they added some new kind of evil puppets that I thought like looked really cool, and some kills were cool. But again, the acting was terrible. They didn't even get the same actors from the last one, even though it's like the day after the
Really?
first movie. So like two main characters, like the girl has the wig on, it looks like the girl's hair from the first one.
Yeah.
And the acting is just so bad. It's so bad. So I don't know, I think I got like 2 or 3 left. I've watched 11 of these now.
11?
Yeah, 11.
Oh my
And there's
god.
another Axis of Evil movie. And then there's the one that came out in like 2020 or
The
something like
last
that.
Reich or the first Reich or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. So got a couple more to get through.
The newest one, I didn't mind it.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, I watched it whenever it
Okay.
first came out. It was okay.
Yeah, I know. I think Kevin Slash and Captain, he liked that one too, I think. But
So it might be like me with Hellraiser. Like they started to get super shitty, and then the last one was actually okay.
yeah, and they're not that long. They're like, 80 minutes or so.
Yeah,
But still, it's man,
it's tough to
it's a
get through.
drag. It is. Yeah. Anyway, what about you?
I picked up my sock or pulled up my socks this week, and I actually watched some shit.
Nice.
Last week was a PA day for the kids, so we dropped Hunter off at Sarah's grandmother's, and then we took Brady to go see The Bad Guys in theaters.
Oh shit, nice.
Yeah, it was
How
a good
was it?
movie. It was really good. I liked it.
The animation looked really cool.
Yeah, it's the animation kind of reminded me of that other animated movie with the family that came out last year.
Oh, Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Yeah, that one.
Mhm.
It kind of had animation like
Yeah, I
that
can
in a
see
way.
that actually.
I watched Studio 666,
Nice.
which you were pissed off about.
Well, I'm not pissed off, but I was like, I didn't pick it for next week, just to let you know. But
Okay.
I was literally like seriously considering it because we both haven't seen it, and I know we both wanted to watch it and love the Foo Fighters and stuff. So
yeah, just an ironic coincidence.
Yeah.
We watched Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Nice. I saw that the second one is on Paramount Plus now.
Yeah.
I was gonna watch it the other night, but I was like, I don't feel like watching it right now.
It's good. I
Is
really
it?
liked it. Yeah, I really liked it.
I like the first one a lot.
I gave them both 3 stars. So I mean, like,
Okay.
for a kids movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brady's watched the second one twice now in like 4 days.
Oh, geez.
So I'm gonna start hating it, I'm sure, really soon. I watched Hellbender, which is that one that's on Shudder.
Is that the I think I watched that one, right?
Yeah,
That's the
you
one
did.
with kind of like the witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay. I don't know. I didn't love it, but it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then the other night I tossed on Tremors while I was making that new YouTube video. I just wanted something on in the background, something easy to watch. And lastly, I struggled through Tetsuo the Iron Man.
When you told me you like threw it on, I was like, oh man, like you're in for a treat.
Yeah, it arguably one of the most fucked up movies I've ever seen.
Yes.
I'm happy it was only 67 minutes long.
Yeah.
It had some good elements to it.
Yeah.
But this fucking cult following that it has, I just don't get it.
Yeah. The last like 10 minutes, like I don't know what was going on. Like
yeah,
the like stop motion, like moving, like it made me like sick. Like it was giving me a headache.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a very fucking weird movie. So that one and the sequel are on Shudder, and I don't think I'll be watching the second one.
Yeah,
maybe I will.
I think it's like Bullet Man.
Yeah, it wasn't a good time. Not in my opinion, anyways. But yeah, other than that, haven't done much. We went to, like you said, Slipknot concert on Sunday night. Absolute fucking blast. If any of our listeners get the chance to see them, if you haven't already, do it.
Yeah.
We've both seen them multiple times now, but they never get old. Yeah, started reading again. I have 3 of your books actually, so I gotta fucking get through them.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I have American Psycho, that Aliens Omnibus, and The Devil May Dance. Yeah. Gotta get through them.
Yeah, I'm reading The House of Leaves for a little book club that we're doing with Porcelain Peak.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get into it now a little bit. It's still very odd to me, but
yeah,
I'm liking it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you guys keep talking about it and it makes me want to start it again.
Yeah.
But we shall see. All right, you ready to talk about this movie?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Okay, like we said in the intro this week, we're talking about 2006's Pan's Labyrinth. Before we hop into it, what are you drinking?
So we got our monthly delivery of Dominion City. So I am drinking a Karmic Pardon.
You
can
there we go.
See it.
Cool.
I don't think I've had this one yet.
I've never heard of it.
It's a pale ale, but the can makes it look like it'd be like a fruity one.
I thought it would be a juicy.
Yeah, no. It does look like a juicy ass IPA though.
Like when you pour it?
Yeah.
Huh.
What are you drinking?
Well, it's summertime. I'm doing this weight loss thing with Parsons, our buddy Parsons.
Nice.
So I'm back into my fucking vodka smash.
Nice.
Watermelon vodka smash with a hint of mint. Lightly carbonated and not too sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the weight loss thing, like also I don't need to lose weight because I can't gain fucking weight at all. But I'm doing a mud hero with our friend Casey actually next weekend.
Yeah.
So I bought well, you already know, but Ring Fit Adventure. It's a game on the Switch for anyone who doesn't know, and it is like legit. Like,
yeah,
it's one of the best like fitness games. Like the one for the Wii was like awesome, but this one is like it's an RPG. So like you actually like collect shit and
Oh, that's cool.
like equip like clothes and stuff and like make smoothies
Huh.
and it actually it kicks your ass. Like, yeah.
Nice. I
So
know Casey keeps trying to get me to get it. I'm gonna have
yeah,
to eventually.
I think you would like it. I think like the kids would, well, you could set the difficulty differently, but
Yeah.
I think it's a good game for people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to get it. My drink's really good.
Nice.
um, yeah. Anyways, I get start with the synopsis. In the phalangist Spain of 1944, the bookish young stepdaughter of a sadistic army officer escapes into an eerie but captivating fantasy world.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she does. This movie was directed by Guillermo del Toro, who also did The Shape of Water.
Yeah.
He did Pacific Rim, Hellboy 1 and 2, Blade 2, PT, which is the scariest fucking video game ever. It was like like a fucking 15-minute thing. It was a
Yeah. I think we've talked about it probably like 3 or 4 times on the podcast throughout the years.
Yeah, probably. Stands for playable trailer. It was supposed to be a new video game that was coming out. They never made the game, but they fucking released this and it's terrifying.
Yeah. It was a Silent Hill game that
Yeah.
was going to be.
Yeah. And I fucking wish that they would have done it.
Yeah.
And he also did, or he's doing, sorry, an upcoming Pinocchio movie.
Yes. Not to be confused with the one that's being released on Disney Plus.
I literally have that in quotations.
Okay.
And IMDb just posted the teaser trailer for that one that you mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you watch it?
It looks really good.
Yeah.
Like the casting is, well, especially Tom Hanks as
Yeah.
Geppetto is like,
yeah,
perfect.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it.
Yeah.
Is he playing Jiminy Cricket?
I don't know who is. Keegan Michael Key
Yeah.
is in it. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be really good. I love the cartoon, like the original one. That shit's terrifying too.
I know. I'm really excited for Del Toro's because it's a more dark version.
Yeah.
So I'm excited because like Pinocchio is scary as shit.
When he goes to I can't remember what the place is called, but like where they turn the kids into donkeys and shit. Like,
yeah,
that was fucking scary, man.
I was thinking like watching that trailer, like how is Disney going to do that?
Yeah.
In the live version.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I hope it's good. I hope both of them are good. Pinocchio is such a cool story. Moving on to the cast list. This is a Spanish movie, so all of our actors and actresses are Spanish except for one. So their movie lists are going to be very short or nothing.
Yeah, I didn't write anything down for the cast.
Yeah,
I didn't know anything really.
Starting off, I have Ivana Bacchiero, who played Ophelia. She has been in the Shannara Chronicles, which was a Jon Favreau show that came out like last year, 2 years ago. Black Friday, Another Me and the Misfits Club. Did you see her? Like her IMDb?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, she grew up.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
She is a gorgeous woman. Sergey Lopez. He played Captain Vidal. His whole movie list was Spanish movies. I didn't write any down. Maribel Verdú played Mercedes. Again, all Spanish movies. And Ariadna Gil, who played Carmen. And again, all Spanish movies. And I have one honorable mention.
Yes.
I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah, same guy. Yeah.
The legendary Doug Bradley played Fawn and the Pale Man.
Yeah.
I knew he did the Pale Man, but I forgot about Fawn.
Yeah. And he had to learn Spanish.
Oh, that's actually his voice?
No, it's not his voice, but is it his voice? I forget what I read. but he also had to learn Spanish because he had to know when to talk after Ophelia.
That's true.
So he had to learn Spanish so he knew when his next line was.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's a lot of interesting facts with this movie though, but
Mm.
one of them was that someone wanted to make this movie in English, but Del Toro, like they offered him more money and stuff, but he just refused it because he wanted to make it in Spanish, like original to his idea.
Yeah. I was reading a thing, like it was in like one of the reviews or something that I was reading, and his American movies don't do nearly as well as his Spanish movies. Cause like he did this and this won 3 Oscars. He did The Devil's Backbone, which was like a hugely critical success. And he did another Spanish one, but I can't remember what it's called.
I don't think he won an Oscar for this.
No, but the movie won an Oscar. I mean,
Okay.
like his Spanish movies are just like critically better
Right.
than his American movies.
Because The Shape of Water was his first Oscar,
Yeah.
like as a director.
Okay. But yeah, I know that the movie for I don't know what the award was, but it got 3. Maybe it was nominated for 3. Maybe I read it wrong.
I think it was like the music, maybe. It won 3 Oscars, yeah.
Suck it, Brooke.
Yeah, cinematography, art direction, and makeup.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The makeup was fucking unreal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's all I got for a cast list. I doubt you have anybody else.
No, I don't got anyone else. I totally forgot this movie was in Spanish.
Yeah, you texted me that last night.
So I got the DVD and like threw it on and it was like Spanish. I was like, I don't remember this being in Spanish. Like, did I buy the fucking Spanish version? I had to look it up on Google. Be like,
yeah.
Is this original language Spanish? Yep.
Yep, sure is. All right, let's fucking dive into this movie.
Let's do it. So I believe this is this after World War II, like the end of it?
It's within it, so it's 1944.
Okay.
So
it takes place in Spain, I'm guessing. Yeah. And because this is kind of part that I was like kind of like confused about, but were the Nazis invading Spain or was Spain going there to clear out Europe?
No, so it was during World War II, but it was 5 years after the Spanish Civil War finished. And small groups of like guerrilla rebels continued to fight against the dictatorship led by Francisco Franco, who's not in the movie, but
okay,
because like what's his name, Vidal, he was just one of the captains, like he wasn't.
Okay, so I thought that like Vidal and them were like Nazis or like Germans.
No,
they're just
they're Spanish,
I guess, like the government, like soldiers.
Yeah, it's like like the Spanish military, but he's fucking psychotic.
Yeah, he's fucking smart as hell too.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we meet Ophelia and her mom. Her mom's very pregnant. Amelia's dad died during the war, and now the mom is with Vidal.
Mm-hmm.
Does it ever say that obviously the kid is Vidal's, right?
The boy.
Like she wasn't pregnant before they met. Like I don't think it ever says anything like that, eh?
No. The baby that she's pregnant with is his, yeah.
Yeah. And Ophelia is kind of like the mom really wants her to like keep saying, no, it's your stepdad or dad, but she's like very against it. It's like, no, it's not my dad.
Yeah.
Because he's a general, so he's like kind of very hard. and he only really cares about having a boy.
Yeah. Well, he's a fucking piece of shit too.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think in this movie that all of this is just in like Ophelia's head to kind of get away from the war?
Yes, that's my thought process. The holy fuck thought process on it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I talk about that in my review. That like I love how it leaves that open to interpretation. Like it never actually, well, because like I guess maybe it doesn't leave it open to interpretation because nobody else sees these creatures around her, right?
Yeah.
And like even at the end, Vidal comes up behind her and she's talking to the fawn, and
Mhm.
he can't see him.
No,
And
no.
the fawn, like you would think, would do something to interfere with what happens at the end.
Yeah.
So I think this is, yeah, like you said, this is just her imagination running wild. It's her
Mhm.
escape from the war and everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, yeah, just stuff that she's kind of manifested in her own mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's
Like
like,
I do
she's
like
like, oh,
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say she's like dreaming of a better life with like the whole that she's
Yeah,
a
to kind of keep
princess.
her like mind off of everything that's happening because her mom's like really sick
Mhm.
and she's like kind of dreaming up ways to help her mom and kind of think that she's helping in some way
Mhm.
because like the mom doesn't end up dying because at one point she gets a mandrake from the fawn
Yeah.
uh and like throughout the movie you think like it's like a real mandrake and she like can is feeding it like milk and it's like crying and stuff and then the mom like all of a sudden starts feeling better and then at one point the general finds the mandrake and
Mhm.
throws it in the fire and then like there's like quiet but then when it cuts to uh Ophelia like the mandrake starts like crying and
Mhm.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny that they used a mandrake root because they have those in Harry Potter.
Oh, that was what Bettina said because she'd never seen this movie before.
Yeah.
And when it showed the Mandrake, she's like, "Oh, they copied it from Harry Potter. Harry
Oh my
Potter was first."
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah. And I do like. I mean, we're getting ahead, but whatever. Uh, I think that like Ophelia actually did like die in the war, and kind of from the general because I don't know. Why do you think the general ended up killing her? Just because her mom was dead and the dad was dead and he had his son now.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted responsibility of a child that wasn't his first and foremost. And
Mhm.
secondly, she was a female. And like
Yeah.
you said, he only cared about a boy and carrying on his name and his father's name, which is one of the lines that he says.
Yeah.
Because he tells the doctor, like, whenever um Carmen is still alive, the doctor says, I don't know what's like why it's happening or how it's happening, but her fever's going down. This is very good news, blah, blah, blah. And then
Mhm.
Vidal says to the doctor, if it comes down to it, kill her and save the child.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I was hoping so bad at the end it would have been a girl.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That would have been so funny.
Yeah.
I love the way they incorporate like the stories throughout it. With the stopwatch because I have one at like one of the dinner scenes, some other soldier or whatever mentions that he knew Vidal's dad and that he heard the story that his dad like broke the stopwatch whenever he died. So he knew whenever he passed.
Yeah.
And then Vidal was like, "Oh, that's silly. My dad never owned a watch." And then the end of the movie, whenever he has the watch
Mhm.
and he like comes out in front of all the rebels, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, he has the watch, and then he's like, he looks at the time. He's like, "Oh, tell my son what time I died at." And then Mercedes is just like, "Oh no, no, he's not even gonna know your fucking name."
Yeah. I love that. There's such a badass like
Yeah,
way to get rid of him.
yeah. And then yeah, um, And then you find like Ophelia at the end, and she's passed on, and we won't get right into the very end scene because I know we pretty much
we
talked about
have
what happens,
we
but
have skipped everything.
yeah. Um, but I mean that brings us to the opening scene, because the opening scene is Ophelia laying in the same spot, and there's blood coming out of her nose, and it's kind of like doing like a reversal, like showing like her waking up again and back to like how this all happened.
Yeah.
So you kind of do know that like she probably does die at the end of the movie, but yeah. I like the kind of characters they have, like the fantasy characters. Like you get that like walking stick kind of thing that she finds,
Yeah.
and then it keeps like falling around and stuff like that. And then she has like this little book of hers, and she's like, "Oh, are you a fairy?" And it doesn't speak, but then it turns itself into like the fairy. I thought was really cool.
Yeah, the imagination of whoever did these creature designs is really good. Because yeah, like you said, there's the fairies, and then there's the fawn who looks unreal. Like he looks so sick,
crazy.
He's got like those like reverse knee kind of like a stance like that. Like his legs are like bent at a fucking like a goat, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's got like fucking big ass horns, and like, oh man, he looks so cool. And then the pale man is just wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Probably the most memorable part from this.
Oh yeah.
This movie.
Yeah.
But before we get to the pale man, she is following the one fairy, kind of like the main fairy. There's 3 in the movie.
Yeah.
There's like a green one, a blue one, and then like a brown one or something like that. But she goes down into the staircase in the middle of the labyrinth, and this is where she meets the fawn, which doesn't tell you who he is. It doesn't say like, she asks like, "Who are you?" And he says, "Oh, I go by many names." He doesn't actually say his name. At the end of the movie, I was like, okay, like who the fuck is Pan?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you if you looked that up.
So that's why I looked it up. So the one I sent you, the Greek god is Pan.
Okay, so what's his significance to this movie?
So Pan is the god of the wild, shepherds and flocks, rustic music, and impromptus. He is the companion of the nymphs. He's also known as the god of sexuality and fertility. And he's the only Greek god who actually dies.
Really?
Yeah, from what I read a little bit of. And he's apparently the son of Hermes. But there's also another story where
he's a goat fucker.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I sent you the fucking picture of it. It's like a statue, and it's literally him with the penis, and he's like fucking a goat. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff about him. Yeah.
Do we know like why they named this movie Pan's Labyrinth though?
Because it's his labyrinth, I think. Like he's the one that's at the bottom of the staircase, and at the end, like he's the one that is kind of showing her the way. Like he knows about the toad in the tree, and at the end,
that's the fawn that does that, is it not? Or is the fawn Pan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. So yeah, the fawn is Pan. He's like the god. He was like half goat and half man.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. And he mentions to Ophelia that because he like recognizes her, and he says that she is the daughter of the king of the underworld. Yeah. So like, I think this is still all in like her head, like her kind of fantasy. I think maybe she like read up on Greek gods or something like that, and
Well, she is a bookworm, so I
Mhm.
mean, it's understandable that she would have this type of imagination.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing I wanted to ask you, we kind of talked about it in the group chat, but on my copy of the DVD, it had
Uh-huh.
a quote from someone from Entertainment Weekly saying something along the lines like the fantasy is on the same level basically as Lord of the Rings. And I was asking you, like, do you think the fantasy aspect of this movie is on par with Lord of the Rings?
Not even close, man.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
even close. Like this movie is very, very good.
Yeah.
Like I can't even say that it's almost as good as Lord of the Rings because those movies are like perfection, but like it's a very good movie. But the fantasy, and I think I can't remember who's, I think it was Steven that said it, like they're not even in the same vein,
No,
right? Like
no.
the fantasy in Pan's Labyrinth is like secondary to what's actually going on in the movie.
Yeah.
And
And the
like,
fantasy is taken from other like old history and other parts of
yeah.
literature. Whereas like Lord of the Rings, it's like all original like books and stuff that was, made.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a very weird comparison and I don't like it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like I said, this movie's great, but
I
it's not
guess this would
even,
have came out the year after the trilogy ended, right?
yeah,
Because it was 2003 to 2005, I think, right?
something like
Was Lord
that.
of the Rings.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would put this more in like the vein of like Bridge to Terabithia. You know, like
Yeah.
a little more darker, but it's got that sort of feel to it because it's a figment of a child's imagination.
Yeah. 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 So I was watching it with Tina, and we got to one point. She's like, "Is this even like a horror movie? Like, what's horror about it?" And then I was like, I told her, like, I don't know. It's kind of like dark and twisted. And then we got to the scene with the general stealing the wine or whatever from the two like prisoners,
Yeah.
and they were like out hunting rabbits,
Hmm.
and he doesn't believe them, and the son's like, oh yeah, my dad said we're hunting rabbits, so like you have to believe him, he wouldn't lie.
Yeah.
And I totally forgot about this part. I don't know
Oh, me
about
too.
you,
Oh yeah.
but he just grabs the bottle and just keeps smashing it in the guy's face, and like the camera isn't panning away,
No,
like you're seeing the guys. Yeah, go ahead.
it starts off in the front and then it moves to the side so you can see his whole face getting like fucking caved in.
Yeah, you see his nose like disappear into his face,
Yeah. Ugh.
and it is vicious. And then after he's like looking through the bag and he finds the fucking rabbit, and then he
Yeah.
just tells like the guards like, make sure you fucking search the bag before you call me for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because I just killed those assholes, is what he says. But I guess Del Toro got in a ton of shit from the public for this movie
Really?
because I forget what the rating was on it, but people brought kids to this movie because they thought it was a kids movie.
Yeah. Okay.
And then especially this scene, but I mean the movie as a whole is dark.
But that's not his fault. That's the
No.
NCAA's fault.
Yeah, it's 14A.
Oh, come on.
So I mean,
What are you bringing your kids to laugh for then?
yeah.
This
Yeah.
movie, this movie does not deserve an R rating.
No. I guess yeah. So the next step up would be 18 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
No, yeah, this,
Yeah.
fuck.
Well, yeah, I guess he did get in a lot of backlash from parents and stuff.
Well, do better parenting then.
Yes.
If I brought my kid to a 14A movie and it was this movie, I would be like, okay, shit, maybe I should follow the rating system then. Like
Yeah.
that's not any fault of anybody's other than your own.
Yeah.
Like think about how many horror movies are 14A.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. Fuck
Yeah.
those people.
I'm sure from the trailer, like I don't know, even just like knowing this movie without like kind of watching it, um, like I kind of went into it like, oh, like nothing's gonna be like really bad or like gory or anything like that. Like it's kind of like The Shape of Water. Like you don't really
Yeah.
expect anything gruesome, but
I wasn't expecting, no, like I wasn't expecting any of the gore. Like I completely forgot about that bottle smash. And then there's a scene later on that like fucking threw me for a loop with the fucking knife in the
oh
mouth.
yeah,
It's like,
that is
whoa,
brutal. Yeah,
wasn't expecting that.
yeah.
Um, but I mean, I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Ophelia has like her book, and I think at the back they're all like blank pages.
Mhm.
And then I think it's the fawn or Pan, I guess we'll start calling him Pan, that is like filling in the book.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of telling her what to do. So her next task is she has to go to this tree and feed the toad 3 stones. Um, the toad looked fucking great,
Yeah.
looked really good.
Yeah, he did.
I like how when she fed him the stones, he just like his whole inside of his body just like came out of
Came
his
out.
mouth and just turned as like a flat fucking skin.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good imagery.
Yeah, so she had like this nice dress made up and she gets all like muddy and stuff. Then she gets home and like her mom's like obviously pissed at her. And like I say, like what's up with parents punishing their kids without supper?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's not a thing anymore.
I don't think it is. I've never done it and I never would do it.
Yeah.
It happened to me once
Okay.
when I was a kid, but I mean, yeah, there's no way I would use that as punishment.
No, it's
Like,
like
yeah, you're 5 years old and I'm gonna send you to bed with no supper and you're gonna fucking starve all night long.
yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. Some of these fucking sadistic like punishments that people came up with is fucking wild, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, at one point there's kind of like a fire that's happening. So like the general goes up to investigate and he finds like this bag beside the fire. And like I said before, Vidal is very smart.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why he's the general, like he's the leader. Like he finds this little bag, finds a little medicine thing, and then right away he like looks around, he's like, yeah, okay, there's like they're still here. There's 12 guys. And then he like goes up and he's like, hey, did you forget this? Like, come get it. Like it won't hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he cuts later and you see all like the guys come up and there's like probably about 12 of them. And he has a doctor that's kind of helping him through all this to treat Carmen.
Yeah.
And at one point he figures out that Vidal was helping them as like a part of it.
Yeah.
And you learn that Mercedes is also a part of them because she's kind of like kept captive there.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like a maid. And her brother Pedro is like in the war, and I don't know if she has like a husband or anything like that. But,
Was Pedro her brother?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, I missed that.
Yeah.
I thought they were like lovers.
No. He has her brother. But
I guess that makes sense. I didn't never saw them kiss or anything, just hug.
yeah. So yeah, the doctor and Mercedes like kind of working together. And now Ophelia is like moving into like a basement or another room because like the general, like the mom's getting more and more sick. And because I think at this point she started bleeding. Like in the book, it had like the red, looked like a uterus kind of.
Yeah.
And then like her mom started bleeding and yeah, not going good. So she gets moved, and then the Pan shows up in her room. It's very creepy, like the way he just like starts talking, and she's like looking around, and you can't see him, and he just like kind of like walks up.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
The script in this movie is really cool when it comes to like Pan's dialogue. I really like a lot of the lines that he uses. Like even you said it before, like just how he describes himself, like his name.
So now he's telling her next task is to get a key from, I'm not, it wasn't I was typing notes at this point, so I wasn't sure like where exactly she was going, but she's going to retrieve a key from this room, and basically he doesn't like tell her much. All he really says is like, whatever you do, don't eat or drink anything from the table.
Yeah. The key came from the frog.
Oh, sorry, the key. Oh, the
So
dagger
yeah,
is where she's going.
she
Yeah,
had to use the key in the
right.
room.
Right. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, she had to get like some dagger or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like she like draws chalk on the floor, very Beetlejuice like. Uh, so she's in this room and she brings the three fairies with her, and she comes to this long-ass table, and then the table you see the pale man,
Mm-hmm.
and he's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
He has like his hands like on the table. He has like no face really.
Mm-hmm.
And like she looks up at like the wall and so like painting and stuff. I was like the pale man like eating kids
Yeah.
and stuff. It's fucking scary.
And then she looks over and there's like this fucking huge like mountain of children's shoes,
Yeah, yeah.
which just added
Um
to it.
so something I read in the trivia was that I guess during the premiere, Stephen King was sitting beside Del Toro while watching this. And this scene scared Stephen King. And
Really?
Del Toro said that that was like his Oscar to him.
I was gonna say I'd retire. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
So the Pale Man scared Stephen King.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So he's like, that's like my Oscar right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, she gets the dagger, she's walking out, and then she fucking tries eating a grape at first, and the fairies are like trying to stop her. They're like, no, like don't, like not saying anything, they can't speak,
Mm-hmm.
but they're trying to stop her, and she keeps like shooing away, and they keep going back, like, no, don't do it,
Yeah.
like don't. And she fucking eats a grape, and then it's in the background, she's not paying attention. You see him like put his hands on like the fucking eyeballs and like go up, and his eyes are in his hands, and it's fucking creepy. He like stands up, and
Yeah.
they're like freaking out, and then he grabs two of the fairies, and I was like fucking pissed. I was like, you just got these two motherfuckers killed.
I
Like,
know. I was like, yeah, this scene really made me mad.
yeah. And he fucking bites their heads off. And it's
Brutal.
like, that's scary.
And like he's got their fucking blood all dripping out his mouth. It just made him even more scary. But yeah, like this scene pissed me off. Like you got a very, very stern warning from Pan. He
Yeah.
said, do not eat anything on that table. Your life depends on it.
Yeah.
And what she do? Of all the stuff that she could have ate on that table, she eats grapes.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, I don't know about you, but for me personally, I love grapes, but
Yeah.
I'm not willing to risk my fucking life for two of them.
No, no.
But I mean, she's what, like 12 years old, so
Yeah.
I guess we can cut her
But
some
like
slack.
she
But
even like sees them get their head bits off, and she doesn't even seem like she like gives a damn. Like
yeah,
she just tries running away. And um Bettina pointed this out too. Like she has like a one of those what are they called? The sand timer.
oh, an hourglass.
Hourglass, yeah, thank
Yeah,
you. Um at like the door where she drew, and it's like not in her vision of sight. So Bettina's like, how's she gonna know when the time's up on the door? I was like, yeah, that's fair. Maybe the fairy can go like take a look or something.
yeah, it's a very good point.
But yeah, she's like running towards it, and the door closes, and you see like the pale man, like it looks like he's wearing those like popular pants that like kids these days wear.
Like parachute pants,
Yeah, yeah, that's
like
it.
MC Hammer.
Yeah. He's just like fucking like walking, chasing after her, and
Yeah,
it's scary, man.
it is scary. He's a very creepy character for sure. Um, what do you think he represents in her mind? Because like you have to think that each one of these characters sort of represents something within her.
I mean, my first guess is probably Vidal.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Because like we don't know if he's killed children or not, but like she might be seeing like, or like any war figure, because like you know that innocents are dying and like women and children are dying. So I kind of had the thought that like he would represent the war that's kind of happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me look it up and see maybe. We're very prepared, as you can see.
Well, it's hard to be prepared when you ask off the cuff questions.
Okay. So the first thing that comes up is, so we were right. The Pale Man is for Ophelia, a symbol of the captain and the adult world. So the Pale Man takes the fairies, bites their heads off, and eats them, and that can be a symbolism of destroying childhood and innocence.
Yeah.
So that's basically how she sees the captain.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking, because like the fairies would represent like small children because they're small creatures, I guess.
Yeah. 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 So the mom's like getting better, and then as I said before, he finds the mandrake under the bed, puts it in the fire. And then the rebels, they created a version by like blowing up a train. And at one point in the movie, Mercedes has like the storage room key to like all the food and supplies and stuff. And he takes it from her and asks her, like, hey, is this the only copy? And she says, yes. So they have this big diversion. They come back and they find that the storage room, whatever, was like broken into, except that the lock wasn't broken.
Yeah.
So like Vidal, like I said, he's very smart. He doesn't say it, but you can see on his face that he knows. But the whole time he's fucking with Mercedes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which I kind of love. Like he plays a good bad guy.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they end up capturing another guy who, I forget what his name was, but he has a stutter. And I really like this scene too. Whenever he has him in the storage room, and Vidal is like, he's like kind of like explaining to him what he's gonna do. He has like a hammer. He's like, at this point, like, you know, I may trust you a little bit, but not that much. Then he like has like the tweezers or whatever, the pliers. He's like, at this point, like, you're gonna say some things and I'm gonna believe you. And then he brings out a knife and he's like, this is when we become friends. Like, I'll believe everything you say.
Yeah, he said, I'll believe whatever you tell me. Yeah.
And he goes up to him and he's like, we're gonna make you a deal. If you can count to 3 without stuttering, I'll let you walk free.
Yeah.
And then he like goes through his like commanders, is like, if I let him free, you won't argue with me, right? They're like, nope.
Yeah.
And like Bettina was saying, like the guy that played the stutter did like a great fucking job. Like
Yeah,
this scene was really good.
Considering
like,
he only has a really small part, like they got a really good actor for it.
Yeah, like he's trying not to start. He gets like 1 and 2, and then like 3, he can't even say it because he's just, he's obviously fucking nervous, right? Yeah. And so he doesn't kill him, but he fucks him up pretty good. And then the doctor comes in, and the doctor's supposed to like help him. And at this point, you know that the doctor is like with them.
Yeah.
And when Vidal is standing by the door, he sees like his case of all his like medicine stuff. And he picks up the little vial and he grabs them up from his pocket that he found before. And he realizes that they're the same fucking vial. So again, he doesn't say anything. He knows. He just leaves them, walks out, does his own business or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the doctor ends up killing the stutterer with poison or something.
Yeah, the guy asked him to do it. Like,
yeah,
the doctor didn't do it out of malice. It was just to like, take away his pain, basically.
Exactly. And then the doctor is like, he's basically like, fuck this, like I'm leaving, like, and then Vidal ends up shooting him in the back and killing him.
Yeah, like a coward.
Yep. What'd you think of the scene with Pan confronting Ophelia about basically her fucking up.
I really liked it because Pan throughout the whole movie has had a very calm demeanor. He
Mhm.
speaks softly. He has a deep voice, but he speaks softly. And then so Ophelia gives him the dagger that she got from the pale man's room there. And then she said something went wrong. And then the fairy goes and whispers in his ear, and he just like he goes nuts.
Yeah.
He's like, I told you. He's like, you're on your own now. I'm leaving. You have no more chances. And he's
Mhm.
like freaking out. And
Yeah.
she's like crying and asking him not to leave and whatnot. And
Mhm.
he's just like, no, that's it. And
Yeah.
he leaves.
Yeah.
But
And he
I
basically doesn't show up until the end of the movie.
yeah. And like whatever that scene happened, I was like, oh shit, like is that the end of that storyline now?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I really liked that scene. I liked the change in character.
Yeah, because Pan says basically like you failed. The full moon is in 3 days. Um, so yeah, like what was her goal in
That's what I
that?
was just gonna ask you. Like, what's the significance of the full moon?
Because she gets the knife because he obviously has to have the knife to spill the blood of the innocents
Yeah.
to, I guess, I don't know if it's like to awaken her dad, like the king of the underworld or whatever, um, or to get into that world.
That's her end goal, but she doesn't know what needs to be done
No,
yet. She
but I
just
mean, she
knows,
has the knife, right?
yeah. She just knows that there's three tasks that she has to do in order to be reunited with her father.
I wonder if, since the Pale Man represents the captain,
Yeah.
if she didn't wake up the Pale Man, do you think she would have died?
Hmm.
Because maybe he thinks since she woke up the Pale Man, like he's awake now and he's coming after her,
So she's woken
maybe
up like the
she wouldn't be able to fulfill the whatever it is.
hmm.
I don't know.
Well, and like, yeah, that's almost um like him chasing her is almost prefacing like the end of the movie too, right?
Mhm.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
Because maybe if she didn't wake the Pale Man, then maybe the baby brother doesn't make it, and then that's the like offering or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because that's true, eh? Because like who would
Like
be
I'm just
the
trying to piece it together because like in his book that he like writes the messages, like why did he have like the blood page and then the mom started bleeding?
Mhm.
But then he ends up helping the mom with the mandrake. So I don't know. Yeah.
So yeah, like let's just say that the the mother and the baby don't survive. Like who's gonna be the blood of the innocents that they
Mhm.
sacrifice?
Maybe that is a sacrifice.
What?
One of them, even though the mom does die anyway. But
Yeah, but let's just say they both die. Like you think that
yeah,
would be the sacrifice?
yeah, maybe.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like the ending we got better.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, excuse me. So now they have the baby. The mom is dead now. Mercedes is leaving. She wants to bring Ophelia with her.
Yeah.
Another dumb part, I mean, a dumb character decision. Mercedes throughout the whole movie, she's like cutting stuff. She has like a knife that she keeps like in her chest, like under her dress. And she's tied up with the general, and she has a knife and she escapes and she stabs him like 2 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, just fucking kill him.
Yeah. That
I did like the scene. It was very Jokerish, obviously.
Yeah.
Before that came out, but she puts the knife in his mouth, and I forget what she says. She's like, "I've cut many men before," or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she like gets him like a half Chelsea grin.
Yeah.
It's fucking gross.
It is gross. And it's fucking gross later on too, whenever he gets it all cleaned up and he's like stitching it. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
And he keeps taking shots, and like he takes the first shot, it's like hurts him, and he's like, oh, "I'll take another one."
Yeah. And it like seeps through like the cut and into the bandage that he has on his
Yeah.
face.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was pissed off with that part too, like that she just doesn't kill him. Like slit his throat. You're there, you fucking have the opportunity to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Just do it. One thing I didn't like, and like going back to the whole mouth thing, and I mentioned like whenever he's cleaning it up, so he's got it all cleaned up and he doesn't have it stitched yet, but there's no blood coming out of it anymore. It's just like it's just like 2 flaps of skin there now, no blood coming out of it. I'm like, that's not realistic. It's going to continue to bleed.
Yeah.
It just like, it didn't make sense. Like it had already looked like it was healed.
It did look very CGI-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked cool,
Mm-hmm.
but it just, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And she like runs away, and does kind of thinking like, why wouldn't they just kill her? But I guess they kind of need her to take care of the baby.
Yeah.
Because the general is not gonna like take care of the baby, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and if he knows that she's working with the rebels, right? So she's almost kind of keeping the rebels at bay in a sense, because like if they kill her, then they're likely gonna like go apeshit and attack even harder than they have been.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like the bridge between the two of them.
Yeah. And like that part, whenever she's running away, like the soldiers made a mistake. They sent like all their top guys to chase after her.
Yeah, I know.
And they're like surrounding her, and it's like all their top guys, and they all get fucking killed except for Serrano, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Who makes it back. And it's like, okay, it's just lost like half your fucking army.
Yeah.
Just chasing this girl. Like,
yeah, like Vidal's secondhand man, he gets killed during it and everything.
I love during the one scene whenever they were fighting the rebels, and they're all like hiding behind trees, and Vidal's like right up there with them.
Yeah.
And he like looks at Strong. He's like, I forget what he says, but
he
basically says like, "Don't be a coward. Like, get up there in the fucking action," or something like that.
He said this is the only honorable way to die, or something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I guess we're basically getting to the end of the movie. So the rebels fully attack the house, and everyone is dying. Ophelia grabs the brother, and she's running into the labyrinth, and the Vidal is chasing after her. And
we
at this point, Pan is helping her.
I was just gonna say, like, Pan comes back
because she comes to a dead end, and then he like opens the maze, which looked really cool actually. But yeah, it's, I don't know, it's weird that I guess he couldn't save her because it's all in her head, right?
Yeah. Do you think Pan represents like her? Oh fuck, I had the word in my mouth and I forgot it.
Savior,
like her hope.
Oh yeah,
because like she fails and then he leaves, so like she's lost hope. But then the rebels attack again and she starts to gain that hope back, and then he comes back.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if that's kind of what his representation is. But yeah, he comes back and says, I'll give you one more chance. Like, the full moon is tonight.
Yeah.
You need to go and get your brother as fast as possible and bring him to the labyrinth.
Yeah.
And she says, well, the door's locked. And he goes, well, make your own door. Like, he's already told her how, like, he's shown her how to do it with the chalk.
Yeah.
And I loved this scene too, because she gets in there and the brother is in Vidal's room and he's in like a little bassinet. And this is when Vidal's stitching himself up.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes in and she hides, and stupid child puts the fucking piece of chalk on top of the table.
Yeah.
And so she's hiding, and then Vidal comes around and he's pouring himself the shot, like you said, and then he notices the chalk. So then he starts looking around the room for her, and then that's when Serrano, you said his name is, he comes to the room and says, like, there's been another attack and like nobody's left, basically. Like we have 20 men left.
Yeah.
So then that's when he leaves, and then she poisons his second shot. And then he comes back. But whenever he comes back, he doesn't see her again until he turns around and she's at the door
with the
brother.
Yeah.
And he's already taken his shot, and then he like stumbles after her.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like very Jack Torrance like chases her into the labyrinth.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's in the labyrinth, and Pan has like the knife that she has, and he's basically saying like, okay, pass me your brother, like we need to do the well, he doesn't say sacrifice, but says like the blood of the innocent or whatever. And he says like, and she's kind of hesitant, and he's like, oh, it's okay, it won't hurt him, it's just one little prick.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if he was actually going to kill the kid or just like take some of his blood.
I wasn't sure at that point, but then at the end of the movie, they mention like you gave up your own throne so that, or to save an innocent person or something like that.
Yeah, because so basically Vidal comes and gets the kid, and then he can like leave, but then he turns and shoots Ophelia.
Yeah.
And she falls and is bleeding, and she starts like bleeding off her hand, like into the hole or whatever it is.
The pit or whatever.
The pit, yeah. And then Vidal runs out, and all of the rebels are there. And the part that we talked about at the very beginning, when he gets killed, it's great scene.
Yeah.
And then Mercedes comes in and she sees Ophelia there, like she's like died, and she's like obviously heartbroken. But then you see the blood go down, and then Ophelia like wakes up, and she's like in this like kind of fantastical like room,
like a throne room,
and there's like these giant 3 like huge thrones like on like 20 feet high.
Yeah.
And you see, and she's like, oh, like, hi dad, or something like that. And then you see her mom beside her, and then there's another throne on the other side of the dad. And the mom says something like, come join your father by his side, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Pan comes up behind and is like, basically like, you made the best decision you could make.
Yeah, he said you sacrificed immortal life or something like that, to save the life of an innocent, or you put that life ahead of your desires or something like that.
Yeah.
But so I think this is like her heaven, right?
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I think too. Yeah.
Yeah. And at the start of the movie, there's a narration, and it's not a narration. It's her story. It's her telling her brother.
Like a title, like kind of like there's words at the beginning.
No, but like, because Carmen tells her to tell her brother a story, like while he's still in the womb. So then she starts telling him about the story of the flower, right? That's on a mountaintop or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then that flower, it's whoever picks it gets eternal life, but nobody has ever been brave enough to pick it because the thorns that they have to climb through are like poisonous and they'll kill you. But then at the end, that flower is on her dress. So representing now that she has eternal life, but like
I never noticed that
in the afterlife.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, that's basically how it ends.
Yeah.
Because like I only remember like a couple scenes from this movie, and it was like the Pale Man, obviously,
Of course.
and then this like throne room scene, and like the whole movie is like, I swear there was like a dark, like weird, creepy scene with like these giant ass thrones, but then it's like the very end scene. So yeah.
Yep.
Anything else before we wrap this up?
I don't think so.
Cool. All right. Well, that's the way the blood splatters.
Very nice.
Hmm.
All right. How did you rate this movie?
So I gave very similar to Shape of Water. I gave this story an 8 out of 10. I said the writing that Del Toro did for this movie is phenomenal. He put so much into it. The way he blends the savagery of war with the imagination and fantasy of a little girl is fantastic. Quality gave a 10 out of 10. I said one of Del Toro's best. I kind of want to watch Hellboy now. It's been a very long time since I've seen that movie, but
Yeah.
kind of same vibes. The cinematography, costume design, practical effects, and acting all superb. The score is amazing as well.
Cool.
So 8 out of 10 and 10 out of 10.
Sweet. My story, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
I said I love how well this movie mixes real life horror and a little girl's fantasy life to escape the realities of war. Every character in this movie was so well written and acted that it made this story like very believable. It's such an incredibly dark movie on the surface and in its undertones, and it was directed by one of the best in the business for this type of movie. I've seen multiple people say that Del Toro returned fairy tales back to their dark origins with this movie, and I couldn't agree more. I found myself getting enthralled in the fantasy scenes and mortified with the reign of Vidal. He was such an easy character to hate, but also an actor to love based on this performance. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've already talked about the rest of it. Quality, I also gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
I said this movie's absolutely gorgeous. The contrast between the dark of the darkness of the entire movie and then the bright, vibrant gold and red at the end scene once she becomes this princess in her fantasy world. The creature designs were honestly the reason why I picked this movie, even though I thought that we got more of a horror aspect than what we actually did. But the Pale Man and Pan, as we know him now, were played with expertise by Doug Bradley, and no one could have done it better. The score was perfect, and all the acting was a plus.
Very nice.
So yeah, 9.5 for both.
Nice.
I fucking love this movie, man.
Yeah.
I think I don't know which one I like because The Shape of Water was really good too. But they're two very different stories. So
yeah.
So it makes it hard to say which one I like more. But
yeah. The Shape of Water has like a happy ending.
Yeah.
And this one, I mean, it depends how you look at it, but
yeah. It's sad but happy, I guess. All right, you guys know our scores. Let's head on over to Rotten Tomatoes and see what they've scored it. The critics' consensus. Oh shit. Just give me a second.
Don't know.
What I do with my notes, right, is I'll take like my notes from a previous movie and I just copy and paste everything onto a blank sheet, and then I go through and I erase everything.
Okay, yeah.
I forgot to erase the critics' consensus for Devil.
Oh, for Devil.
Yeah, it was just like one of the top ones because like it goes in alphabetical order. So I just clicked it. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it. It's better than many of the other M. Night Shyamalan movies. I'm like, what the fuck? Just give me a sec. I'll go to Rotten Tomatoes right now. I'll just read it off.
That's so funny.
Labyrinth. Okay, the critics' consensus. Pan's Labyrinth is Alice in Wonderland for grown-ups, with the horrors of both reality and fantasy blended together into an extraordinary, spellbinding fable. So, based off that, what do you think the critics scored it?
It's tough. 89.
Too low.
Fuck.
95%
Wow.
on 239 ratings and an average score of 8.6 out of 10.
Damn. I knew it wasn't higher than Shape of Water, but
What did Shape of Water get? I don't remember.
I think it was like a 97 or like
Was it that
something
high?
like that. Yeah.
Damn.
Maybe not. I don't know.
The audience score was a 91%
Okay.
on 250,000 ratings and an average score of 4.3 out of 5 or 8.6 out of 10. I think that's the first time both of those ratings have matched up.
Yeah.
So it's highly, highly liked by critics and audiences alike.
Nice.
So would Letterboxd
Letterboxd gave it has a 4.1 out of 5. I gave it a 4 out of 5, and you gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Yes, sir.
Here Be Monster, aka Anthony from Porcelain Peak, gave it a 5. Jensen from the Fright Crew gave it a 4. Screaming Cinema gave it a 4.5. And then I have another one from a guy I follow who I really like. Hold on. So his name is George Carmy. He gave it a 5 out of 5. He has a TikTok that I've been following for probably like 6 months now. It's Movies and Stuff 14. He has great content. I really like him. But I really liked his review on it. So I'm going to read it if you don't mind.
Not at all.
All right. Guillermo del Toro's captivating fantasy film about a girl's nightmarish fairy tale. This film is dark. It has a twisted emotional core and is a beautiful display of filmmaking. Del Toro demonstrates fairy tale horror in a fantastic and gripping manner that leaves you with an unsettling feeling as he takes you along on this brutally violent, war-driven tale. It's Alice in Wonderland with the dial turned to its maximum. Del Toro puts you into Ophelia's story and doesn't let you out until the last drop of blood crowns the reincarnated princess.
Damn. That was good.
Yeah, I like the Alice in Wonderland reference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been... Well, yeah, Rotten Tomatoes did it too. It's a good reference for sure.
Yeah.
Another horror-ish movie, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
All right, man. You ready for the scare rating?
Yes,
Scare
sir.
section.
And the scare rating.
And the scare rating to start.
I give it a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
This movie makes me feel so uncomfortable throughout the whole thing and kept me on the edge of my seat. There is surprisingly some brutal gore and scary ass monsters. So yeah.
Cool.
And scariest scene, I said the Pale Man, easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to pick something else, but I was gonna pick the scene with the fucking bottle because that was brutal as fuck.
That was brutal.
But the Pale Man is just no.
Yeah.
And what I survive, I said no. If I had to choose either myself or my baby brother, I would save my brother. However, I would not fucking eat anything and save my fairy friends.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
How about you?
My scare rating, I gave it a 3 out of 10. I said, although there wasn't as much creature horror as I remembered, the Pale Man was absolutely terrifying, as was Vidal as a real life villain. There was some pretty graphic violence on both sides of the world as well. Like we got the Pale Man fucking eating fairies, and then we have Vidal being a psychopath. Scary scene, I said Pale Man without a doubt. He's fucking terrifying and a very well-made monster.
Yeah.
Would I survive? I said I gave basically the same answer as you. No, because I would have done the same thing Ophelia did in the end and given up my right to the throne to not sacrifice my baby brother.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're pretty even with this one.
Yeah, we are. Good pick. This is
Thank you.
Discussion.
Thank you. I'm glad your mind got changed after I said it last week. All right. I'm excited to hear what your next pick is because you kind of made a comment in our group chat about it.
I did.
And yeah.
I, I'm so excited to talk about it. We are talking about 2021's Malignant.
Oh, fucking right. Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. I need to watch this movie again. And
Yes.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
I
It's on Crave now, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. I'm excited. I'm very excited to talk about this movie
Yeah, me too.
because it's fucking batshit crazy.
It is.
I kind of had it in my mind that you're gonna pick the sadness,
Oh, okay.
just the way you're leading up to it. But no,
Right.
yeah, Malignant's gonna be a great conversation.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, fucking right. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps it up. So if you guys want to catch us on social media, you can find us at A Podcast on Elm Street on Instagram and Facebook. If you click the link in our bio on Instagram, you'll find links to our TeePublic account where we have our merch. Thank you to two of my work friends who just recently bought t-shirts.
Hey.
Yeah. So Mike, who is also Mackle on YouTube. So whenever we're doing our game streaming, he hops in every once in a while. So
okay. Yeah, he came into the stream on Friday.
Yeah.
I finally, well, kind of met him, sort of.
Yeah. So yeah, he's one of my good buddies at work. And then another friend, Mark, he bought one too. He's been listening for a little while now as well. But yeah, thank you. They were our latest two purchases, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
What did I just watch and that happened? I don't remember. Anyways, doesn't matter. Fuck, I took myself off track with that. God damn it. Oh, there's also a link to our Patreon account if you wish to support the podcast that way. There's also links to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you go check it out. There's also links to our Discord server, our individual Letterboxd accounts, and anywhere that you can listen to us.
Sir.
Shibuya.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this week. We will talk to you guys next time.
Yep. See you later.